My name is Brian Randall. I wanted to share a little bit about my dad's journey. Uh, he had to learn how to love wholeheartedly, was his deal, and he learned to love zinc the way that he needed to love. When he was passing, I had to drive from Lyndon, Washington, which is at Canada in the Pacific, all the way to Phoenix. I drove straight through. It took me 20-something hours. I got to the hospital where he was at, and everyone was so depleted from supporting him through everything he'd gone through for 7 weeks in the hospital, they couldn't get him to hospice where he needed to be. I was able to get my dad in the hospice up in the small town they lived in, and we all rode up there and spent the last day with my dad. I asked if Zinc could come in, and they said, yeah, she can lay on his bed. So we brought Zinc in. Zinc laid on his bed, and she was there with my dad. He called me in. Brian, come here. I said, yeah, Dad, what's going on? He said, Zinc took me there. I'm like, took you where, Dad? And he looked at me like I was crazy. He said, she took me there. I'm like, oh, you're where it hit me. I'm like, oh, you're where you need to be, Dad. I got goosebumps right now. I'm like, oh, you're where you need to be, Dad. That's great. And he said, 0 for man, 0 for dog. He said, we were both naked. I said, Dad, you don't need anything where you're going. I said, you've got everything you need already. Zinc took my dad where he needed to be. And I asked him, for some reason I asked him, was it light or dark there, Dad? He said, oh, it was dark there. For a while I worried about it, like, wow, why would my dad go to someplace dark when everyone talks about going to the light when you see the light? And then I seen a reel and it said, going to the light is bringing you back into the recycling of this planet. Going into the dark is taking you to the other side to continue your journey on from a spiritual standpoint. That's where my dad ended up going, and I feel that the love that he was able to give to Zinc, the beliefs that I have that I shared with him and my family, had to do with him being able to get out of the cycle of this planet and be able to move on with his journey. He told me it was dark where he was going, and that's what I learned that it means. It means that you're going to the other side. So, Zinc took my dad where he needed to be, and it was dark there, and I believe that it's a great thing. My dad was a great guy. He ended up where he needed to be. A couple months after my dad passed, he came and talked to me, and I could hear his voice very vivid, and he said, I left to be able to help you with your life. And I said, what are you talking about, Dad? And he said, there was nothing more I could do for you from there. I left to come here and help you from this side to live your life. I thought, wow, that is so amazing. He said, I want you to stop and tell your mom. When I left, I drove past my mom's house, and he told me, I thought you were going to stop and tell your mom. I went back and I told my mom, Mom, Dad came to see me today, and he told me that he had left here to help me live my life. She was upset, kind of selfish. Why would he leave me alone? She said, somehow my dad knew that I needed help from the other side, and he left to go help me. I love you, Dad, forever. I love you, and I'm forever grateful. Thank you for the time we got to spend together, and thank you for watching over me.